in recognizing some of the challenges with hempcrete and just how much energy and time it takes to incubate a hempcrete project, the Hempitecture team a little over a year ago made a pivot to focusing more on hemp wool. And I would say that a large portion of our customers that come to us thinking that they want hempcrete end up leaving with hemp wool once they learn that it shares about 60 to 70% of the benefits of hempcrete. It's a one-to-one replacement for conventional insulation products. So you can swap out the itchy, irritating pink fiberglass that's in your wall and replace it with hemp wool, which is carbon neutral, non-toxic, non-abrasive, vapor permeable, mold resistant, has so many benefits, yet it's a one-to-one replacement. You can just make that choice to substitute. And so we made that pivot with a focus on hemp wool, just because it is something that is so much more scalable. And I'm not sure I mentioned this, Kevin, but we're a public benefit corporation. Our goal is to help both people and the planet. And we feel that we're falling short on that goal if we're only building 2, 3, 4 hempcrete homes a year. Whereas with hemp wool, we're able to get this product spec'd in 50, 100, 200 homes per year. And that is pushing, in our opinion, the sustainability ball forward much more quickly than it would if we were solely focused on hempcrete.
Diversity in companies is the evolution of business, and lots of times I think a lot of people just think I'm just going to do the one thing, and you have to add those other products to meet the agenda of not only business, which is making money, but also in surviving and like you said, people and planet is the other part of it. So, but
absolutely.
So again, is that you're doing the consulting with the client, calculating the requirements, and then local installation companies are primarily looking after that installation rather than you having to travel there, I assume?
Exactly. The beautiful thing about hemp wool is that it's so easy to install. In fact, you can handle hemp wool without gloves on. Name another material out there. There might be a couple, but you'd be hard pressed to find a lot of materials that you could handle without gloves and still have a good rest of your day in terms of insulation. It's generally a market that's consumed with abrasive, toxic, and really irritating materials. And so we're able to, from afar, train contractors. We actually sometimes, depending on the skill level of the contractor, we'll just send them a YouTube video on this is how we install hemp wool. And they can watch a 2-minute YouTube video and they're off to the races. Whereas when it relates to hempcrete, we have a 4-day workshop that we host monthly at our brick and mortar facility in Idaho called Hempcrete Contractor Training. And in those 4 days, we're barely scratching the surface. So think about that, a 4-day training versus a 2-minute YouTube video to install this material. So that, it's easy to work with even for novices that might not have a lot of installation experience.
It looked like something that even I could do, which is cut it with a blade and maybe shear it like a sheep to bring it down to size for the appropriate thing. It looked pretty simple. And you make it in specific sizes though, right? In general?
Correct. So hemp wool is manufactured to meet conventional framing widths. So the two most common framing layouts are 16-inch on center and 2-foot on center. Hemp wool is cut on the end of the manufacturing line to be either 15.25 inches or 23.25 inches. And so what that does is that leaves it or makes it a pressure fit system. There's no glues, adhesives, batting, or any sort of additional methods needed to hold hemp wool in place. It's as simple as squeezing it in between your studs, pushing it to the back of that stud cavity, and it will stay in place. It is a semi-rigid panel, very similar to rock wool, whereas something like fiberglass is wispy, light, almost cotton candy-like. Go into a wall that was insulated with fiberglass 20 years ago, and you'll see a 2-inch gap between the top plates and the insulation panel. It slumps over time. Hemp wool will not do that because it is a rigid panel. And so it is a superior insulation system that, no staples, nothing. It just fits right in between. If you have wiring or plumbing, it's as simple as notching out or relieving the backside of the panel itself. to accommodate that wiring.